Welcome. Bloody welcome. Is that window open, Paul?
No, it's not, but it was still a screaming baby.
Screaming children. Welcome, bloody welcome to the show.
Sunday chat!
Oh, Jesus, Mary, Mother of God. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you to new subscribers for recently joining us here at the Cult of Richard and Paul. Join us.
Well, if they're new subscribers, they will have recently joined, won't they? So you don't really need to say that.
I'm just saying thank you, Paul. I'm just saying thank you to the people, to the little people in the
camera. Thank you those who've recently joined, or thank you to the new subscribers.
Paul.
But you don't need
Said
both
enough.
of them, really.
Shush now.
No.
Why are you wearing that old scruffy t-shirt?
So that you could point it out.
Yes. I'm wearing a new cardigan.
You are, yes.
Yeah, it's a new birthday cardigan, seeing as my birthday was on the 13th of September, and I'm now 39.
I do think that you're channeling Deirdre Barlow a bit with that cardigan, though. I do, definitely. The hairstyle, that face, the sort of knit. Yeah.
Except I'm not famous and in Coronation Street and earned millions of pounds doing it. Oh, she's dead now, isn't she?
Yeah, she died,
didn't she? She died on the show, didn't she, as well?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Anyway, Paul, I won't say who you're channeling because that would be cruel.
He usually says Jabba the Hutt or something like that.
Yeah, you got it. Or Yoda.
Yoda. I don't mind Yoda. Oh, Yoda's sort of cute.
Or a hobbit.
Nice. Don't mind hobbits.
Being
don't mind
one
hobbits.
of the Guernsey hobbit people. So, it's just a quick one this week because we've got a busy weekend. Busy. I've got my sister and my niece staying with us this weekend. And Sophie Stock, who is my niece, is also an artist, as you know, and she's doing an event over this weekend down at King's Cross. It's called the Big Woof.
Woof!
Big Woof you in a minute. And it's at Coal Drops Yard. So if you are in London this weekend, this comes out on Sunday morning. She's going to be there all day on Sunday as well. So if you want to go and have a pet portrait done,
look her up.
Or buy some of her merchandise, beautiful cards and illustrations on sale. So we'll put the link into her website as well, and many of you have checked her out already.
I think you can buy her cards online, can't you?
I think so.
Yeah.
But you can check it out. Go on a journey. Yeah.
A little doggy portrait journey.
I'd also like to say a big... What?
And
what?
And yesterday she was...
You got a spot on the end of your nose.
I have, yes. I've got a spot on the end of my nose.
If I'd have known, we'd have got the concealer out.
Or just put a big piece of paper in front of my head.
Literally shining like a beacon.
So
when
yesterday...
did that happen? I didn't notice that earlier.
It's been happening for several days.
You need to put some lavender oil on that, Paul.
Anyway, the important thing is that Sophie, his niece, and my niece, now has a portrait, one of her portraits, hanging at the Kennel Club headquarters in London. She went down there. She was asked to come up with a portrait, which she did, and I think that's fabulous. So she went yesterday and took it, and it was hung in their sort of gallery there. So that's lovely. Yeah, you forgot that bit.
No, I'm fixated with your spot.
Oh
God, if that gets any bigger, it's gonna.
Maybe I need to put some Vivi Balm on it.
Just in time for Christmas, Rudolph. Anyway. Let's move on. I just want to say a thank you to... Hold on, I need a tissue because my nose is a little bit runny, because we'll do the weather report in a minute.
Yeah, well, we need to.
In a minute, Paul.
Yeah. What are you doing? You're blowing your big nose, are you?
I'm just...
Your big bulbous nose. Yeah. At least mine is going to go down, you know. Yeah, unlike that one. Yeah, it just sort of goes around the corner before you do.
Paul.
Yeah.
You're running the gauntlet.
Yeah.
I want to say a big thank you to Courtney and Dave for my birthday gift. Thank you so much. I really am very appreciative. I've sent you a little email, so thank you. So...
And how old are you?
I'm 39, Paul.
39. There we are. There we are. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, that you look so good. Yeah.
I know, with no cosmetic surgery whatsoever.
Just bits of tape.
Shush now, Paul. God, honestly. So, we usually kick off with Richard and Paul's weather report. What has the weather been like, Paul, this week?
Cold.
Look like you look constipated rather than cold, Paul.
Yeah, it's been cold. So we had frost yesterday morning, and there was frost at the allotment as well. Fortunately, not on our allotment. Not that we got much growing.
How did it miss yours and hit other people's, Paul?
Well, because it got down to 5 degrees, and there are frost pockets at the allotment when it gets down to 5 degrees.
It's going dark.
It is.
Why is it going dark?
I was
Are
talking.
we bright enough?
Yes, we
Am
are.
I still looking good?
Yes,
because
yes. Everyone
without
can
light,
see your nose.
I'm going to age immediately. It's like She.
Oh, I love that film.
Yeah, I love that film. Go into the flame. Don't go into the flame.
Yeah,
go into the flame now.
Yeah. I don't want to go into the flame alone.
Shush.
I'll go with you.
You're out of
and
control.
then. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's getting brighter again. Thank the Lord.
So yeah, there's frost. When it gets to 5 degrees, there are frost pockets around the allotment site, and ours isn't in a pocket. So when it gets down to about 2 degrees, that's when it sort of hits. Though this time of year is interesting because usually with the river, there's a bit of warmth that comes off the river, but it clearly didn't help a few plots this time. Courgettes and things like that were bitten, definitely, and squash.
We had a little bit of frost on our flat roof.
Didn't I say that?
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
So yeah, sunny, bright, cold. Autumn is really here.
But it has warmed up a little bit today, and it's only going to get down to 7 degrees this evening rather than 5 degrees. So relatively balmy for the rest of the week
I
here.
wouldn't go that far.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully it's going to get back to normal September temperatures. Because it does feel at the moment, or it has been feeling this week,
like
as though it's sort of October, middle of October rather than middle of September. So yeah, there we are.
What's the weather doing where you are?
I was at the, I was with Vanessa the other day, and I was walking down a road on my own, a little lane, and I looked up and there were geese flying over, in formation, and this old codger passed me and he went, "They're flying early, gonna be a cold winter. I went, "Oh, thank you for that." So this old codger thought it was going to be a cold.
Old codger?
Yeah, he was an old codger. He was like 85 or something. Yeah, he was all sort of wizened, and yeah, he was an old codger with a walking stick.
People consider that we're old now.
I know.
I'll never forget that time I was walking to work, and I think I had longish hair and it was down for some reason, and I had my beard, and I'm walking along, and it's near to Christmas.
Did they think you were a bearded lady?
And there was a child and his father walking along, and they passed me, and the child said to his father, "Is that Father Christmas, Daddy?"
Oh dear.
I couldn't quite believe it.
I can. Yeah.
What do you mean you can?
Yeah, it's that nose.
Let's move on. So yeah, sunny, cold, bright. I'd rather have sunny, cold and bright than grey and wet.
Yeah.
But we have had a couple of showers, and we've had a few days of huge, voluminous clouds in the sky. Because that's where clouds are.
Else are they going to be? Yeah.
Anyway.
When I was driving back the other day, the skyline was fantastic, and the clouds actually looked blue. It was quite amazing. They looked blue. Yeah.
Lovely. And I'll be showing pictures of clouds on our Facebook page. And remember, you can follow us on Facebook at Richard and Paul, or our Facebook group, Planet Vegetaria. That's a Facebook group by Richard and Paul. Richard and Paul since 2017. That's contractual. Carry on. Were you saying something?
No, I wasn't. No.
It's me. So, Paul, you have been down to For Earth's Sake this week.
Yeah.
And also, you visited Main Chance, which is a charity.
Horse sanctuary.
It's a horse sanctuary.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was...
is it run by Jenny?
Yeah, she
run by the actress Jenny Seagrove.
Yes, yes. So I was down with Vanessa, and it was also her 70th birthday. So we were doing various bits of work, and various people turned up and chatting. And then she said to me, we've got a treat. We're going to Main Chance. And I said, oh, is Jenny there? Because we'd known Jenny, because I used to work for Bill Kenwright, and Jenny was Bill's partner. He died last year. So we've known her for decades. And we went to Main Chance and met up with Jenny and had an absolutely lovely time there, just catching up and looking at the horses, galloping, because they obviously let the horses out and the horses can gallop around the paddock areas and things.
Because that's what horses do.
That's what they do. And when we went and had a look at the Shetland ponies that they have as well, which do come from Shetland. And they've got rescued chickens as well, and a rescued dog that loves swimming in a pond. So it was amazing, it really was. And if you watch A Week at the Plot, you'll see some footage of the horses galloping in A Week at the Plot when it gets uploaded, which will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. So yeah, it was lovely. And again, as you were saying, you know, the thing is, Main Chance is all paddocks, huge fields, all in paddocks. So much greenery and so much open sky and so many clouds, and the sun was glorious. It really was lovely.
Yeah, I think this time of year can be absolutely stunning, can't it? And, you know, we're also getting into that period where we get quite spectacular sunsets and sunrises.
Yeah.
So, and I believe this week the aurora was visible from the UK again.
Yeah. I didn't hear
look
about it until afterwards.
Yeah, I didn't look.
But,
I didn't know. Yeah, there we are.
So yeah, we also went to, Vanessa and I then went to a place called Watts Gallery in Compton in Surrey, and we had lunch there, which was very nice. But we also looked around the gallery of this George Watts painter, and that was really lovely. Some fantastic paintings in there. It was a nice day. And then we went to pick up a carpet, a 3 metre by 4 metre rug that is going to be used in the Great Green Barn. So
great.
Yeah.
So it's that time of the segment, whatever, where we do Word of the Week.
Oh, lovely. Oh, you can't reach it. You're going to have to get up.
Book.
No, I don't think that will work. No.
I'm not Tabitha.
No. You see, I could use my Yoda skills to just make it float over, but because he's been so rude, I'm not going to.
Yoda skills.
Yeah, Yoda skills. Yeah.
So this is taken from a word for every day of the year.
I do use Yoda skills to put the recycling that Richard has put on the side to never put into the recycling. I use my Yoda skills to get those over and out the front door into the recycling bin. So I do use my Yoda skills for that. So, yeah.
This is a word for every day of the year by Stephen Poole. So today's date is the
15th.
The 15th. You're watching this on the 15th. Please be an easy one. This is unrehearsed.
As you can tell. Yeah.
Oh, this is quite easy.
Ooh.
Oh, lovely. Yes, roily. R-O-I-L-Y. Roily.
Is it turbulent? Is it something to do with turbulence?
I want to say it, roiling.
Yeah.
Let's find out, kids. Oh, I can't even see. I know. My eyes.
At the age of 39, your eyes should be fine, really. Yeah.
They were when I was 39. I'm 57, really. I know, you can't believe it, can you?
I realised the other day when I was teasing Vanessa that actually I'm less than 2 years away from being in my 7th decade. That is mad. Yeah.
And you looked like that for the previous 10 years. So, yeah, you're catching up now.
I am.
So, Royley, the novelist James Fenimore Cooper, author of The Last of the Mohicans, was born on this day in 1789. Among his more obscure achievements is being the first writer cited by the OED, that's the Oxford English Dictionary, to use the word roily in 1823. It means muddy or cloudy, from the sense of the word roil, to stir up water.
Yeah.
But its application is not limited to describing rivers or glasses of beer.
What? Read that again.
It means muddy or cloudy from the sense of the verb roil, to stir up water.
Yeah, got that.
But its application is not limited to describing rivers or glasses of beer, cloudy beer.
Oh, right.
A later scholar described a roily flood of historical fiction erupting across the American scene at the turn of the 20th century, and a New Yorker writer of the present millennium described a certain baseball game as roily. Puzzlingly, the close synonym riley, apparently from to rile up,
Right, yeah.
can be applied to muddy water and also to irritable people, or even, in Oregon, bad-tempered cows. But roily has not so far crossed the barrier from inanimate fluids to sensible organisms. There are certainly enough roily people around to recommend its adoption.
There we are. I've often wondered about the how broil came about, because of course in America they broil things, don't
Rather
they?
than grill.
And it seems to be a like grilling, but also with something more liquid as well. I'm not sure. I'm wondering if that's
a braising.
I know. I'm wondering if there's the derivation of it all is around royal, broil, braise, boil,
broil,
all of that. Yeah, but there's no grill in there, really, is there?
No,
there's no grill. Yeah.
I think you're just pissing in the wind there.
Thank you. But it does.
If indeed
I mean,
that is even the phrase I meant to use, I have no idea.
We don't broil in the UK.
Shush now, Paul.
We
God,
don't.
give the broiling
We
a
grill.
bloody rest.
We grill, yeah.
It's time for What Have We Watched on Television This Week? Well, what have we watched, Paul?
Well,
it's not been a particularly bumper week for TV, has it?
No, but it's been quite a joyful week. Quite nice. We watched a thing called Joan Rivers at the BBC.
Yeah.
Which had clips of Joan Rivers at the BBC being interviewed, but it also had a really
well, it was
bad
Catherine Ryan.
Yeah.
Presenting it, and there was far too much of her.
Yeah.
Really.
And we didn't need the visuals of her in a tight silk dress over her boobies and things like that. It wasn't really necessary. I think a voiceover which was much more sort of minimal would have been better, with more clips of Joan
just
and less
somebody
of
else.
her.
Just
Yeah.
somebody else.
Yeah, like
really.
Yoda. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I would have preferred Yoda.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we also, Patricia Routledge,
Remembers.
who many people may remember from a host of things like Hetty Wainthropp Investigates, the Alan Bennett monologues, and also Keeping Up Appearances, where she was Mrs. Bouquet, of course, not Bucket. It was a few lovely short programmes. It was on radio, BBC 4, and it was her looking back on various of her programmes and talking about them, and it was really interesting. And one of the things she said about Keeping Up Appearances and Hetty Wainthropp Investigates was how they said goodbye to it at the right time before it sort of just became rewritten and, you know, its own thing. And I think there's a lot of series now that actually could be cut much shorter.
Well, she said they were beginning to recycle the jokes.
Absolutely, yeah.
And when that starts to happen in a long-running series,
It's
you know
time
it's
to
time
quit.
to...
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That was really nice, and, you know, she's looking great as well, so I enjoyed that very much.
We also watched a programme called The Story of Film, and this was all about Murder on the Orient Express. This is the Albert Finney... Was it Albert Finney?
Albert Finney, yeah.
Albert Finney version, which many class as the definitive Poirot.
Yeah, and I think it is. Yeah, I know a lot of people like the ITV series and David Suchet, and I do too. I think it's really great. But I think Albert Finney, for me, is and will always be the definitive Poirot.
Yeah, I mean, you know, who was the other guy who did... Peter Ustinov did one. No.
Not Peter Ustinov, no.
Did not
He
work.
brought too much comedy to the thing. Again, I enjoy them, but he's the buffoonery is a bit more comic rather than sort of largesse, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, the Murder on the Orient Express was a big movie.
Big Hollywood movie, big Hollywood stars.
Big budget, beautifully filmed, and very well acted. So I guess it was at the time, it was the creme de la creme, wasn't it?
Oh, it was,
really?
Absolutely.
And it was really, I can remember, I mean, it was 1974, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
I can remember the sort of, what's the word? The buzz around it.
Yeah,
it was
I
being
remember the
promoted
posters.
very much so on television, and you know, stars being interviewed.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it was
Big
promotion.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was interesting because they had one of the people who was the continuity person on it. She was being interviewed about it. She's still alive now. She was being interviewed about it, and she was saying, and the presenter was saying that it's the first TV or film adaptation that actually Agatha Christie was happy with. Even though I think she benefited from the money of the Margaret Rutherford, she was never happy with Margaret Rutherford as Miss Marple. And I think if we all watch those four, you know, they are again very comic, again enjoyable, but they're not real Miss Marple. And of course they were very loose adaptations of stories as well. Yeah.
We also continue with the BBC series Earth, presented by Chris Packham.
Yeah. Which again continues to sort of jump forwards and back and...
Well, for me, there's that bit at the end, isn't there?
Where they talk about
Where they have the other people, the other experts and scientists talking about whatever's been discussed in the programme.
Yeah.
That segment should be doubled, and the Chris Packham bits should be cut in half.
Yeah.
Because it was far more interesting. It was scripted in a much more informative way, with a better sort of timeline. Whereas the Chris Packham bits, you know, he was at one point stretching his arms up and kept repeating the same thing. It's like the Brian Cox stuff. they spend so much time with the sweeping views and the look at the majesty of it. No, we want to get the facts.
Yeah, the
That's
science
what we want.
of it, please.
We want to know all the facts and the science and have all the interesting bits given to us rather than your feelings of majesty and, oh, how amazing it is. No, this is a science program.
And you get told something and you think, okay, I get that, but how did that come about?
And then you get told
why
again.
Was that gas there? How did that gas form? What was
Where
it?
did the bacteria come from?
All these
How
things.
did they get there? Why did they grow? So many unanswered parts to it, but it does look good.
Yeah.
You have to admit that.
And the sound, the music is, again, sometimes these are just too much, the music. It's too grand in some ways. Let the spectacle, if you're going to have that spectacle of those views, let them speak for themselves with music in the background, but without the big crescendo of the music sort of saying to you, this is really important viewing,
We watched The Sky at Night, and actually it was a really good episode.
It was a good episode. It wasn't as good as that one where they saw that scientist a few weeks ago or a month ago.
But it was
good.
It was pretty good.
It was looking at how we will be interacting with space in 75 years. Apparently there's a report that has come out about where the scientists think we will be in 75 years time. That was interesting.
Yeah, it was good. And we continue with the series Time Bandits as well.
Yeah. Importantly, the one that Richard has left out is we have been watching Grace on ITV.
Yeah.
This is an adaptation of Peter James's books, which I have been reading for over 30 years before I met him. I've been reading Peter James' book, and he brought these out maybe about 14, 15, 16 years ago, something like that, about a detective in Brighton called Grace. And it's with John Sim, and I just never ever feel that he is Grace, the Grace that I have read through 15, 16, 17, 18 books. But it's a good, it's not in the calibre of Vera, but it's still good and engaging. I love the secondary characters. The casting of the secondary characters I think is really, really good. But yeah, the main one, not sure about that. Yeah.
Good, thank you, Paul. How super. And that's it for this week's show.
Yes, it is. We said it was going to be a quick one, and it is a quick one. Yes.
So, thank you for tuning in this week to watch
Sunday Chat.
Yeah, and join us very soon for more videos. We may do some cookery videos soon. Now it's coming up to winter. I think so, Paul.
Are you going to do some? Marvellous. Lovely. I look forward to watching those. Yes.
Lovely. So, thank you.
I might do my lentil burgers. Those lentils, they are quite nice, those lentil burgers.
I enjoyed the lentil burger.
He likes them.
I did.
Yeah, they're not as sort of...
But when you reheated them, they were a little bit dry.
Yeah, but I found out how to reheat them better. Yeah. They're good to have sort of as a sort of burger one day, and then with a sort of tomato sauce, not like Heinz tomato sauce. Other brands are available.
I thought you were going to make falafel this weekend.
I am. I got the chickpeas out. You saw that. Yeah. I'm going to make falafel this weekend.
Super duper.
Which I'm making with dried parsley rather than fresh parsley, simply because we have lots of it.
Do we?
Yeah. What?
Well, you didn't tell me we had parsley.
Well, we got parsley.
I could have made parsley sauce.
To have with what?
We could have parsley sauce with falafel.
We could have parsley sauce with falafel, yeah. We could have.
Anywho, say goodbye now, Paul. Say goodbye.
See you next week.
Take care. Toodle pip au revoir. Come again. Hope you enjoyed it. Watch all the adverts.
Actually, you only need to watch the first 30 seconds of
Watch
any
the first 30
advert.
seconds of
You
the
don't need
adverts.
to watch the whole advert.
Bye.
Because once it hits sort of 30 seconds, it's yeah, that's fine. So don't, if it's 2 minutes, don't watch it. If it's 10 minutes, don't watch it. Just the first 30 seconds will do of an advert.
Goodbye.